Hey guys, my name is Jacob. I'm a certified Feldenkrais teacher, and recently I watched Ido Portal teaching a Feldenkrais lesson on his channel. This excited me a lot because I'm a huge fan of Ido's work. However, many people commented that they found the lesson to be quite challenging and pretty uncomfortable. And so I thought I'm going to share an easier version of this lesson that you can practice as preparation to the Feldenkrais lesson that Ido Portal taught. So please find yourself a comfortable space on the floor, hit the subscribe button, and enjoy the lesson.
Please lie down on your back. Rest with long arms and legs and sense the overall contact that you're making with the floor. Sense your two shoulders and notice, is one shoulder flatter on the floor than the other one? Or in other words, is one shoulder pointing more towards the ceiling than the other one? And does one shoulder have more contact surface with the floor? Also notice your back. Sense the parts that are in touch with the floor, and also sense the parts that are not in contact with the floor, which is usually somewhere in the low back area. Slowly bring both legs to standing, and then lift your pelvis away from the floor and slide your left hand under your back, and then place the pelvis back onto the floor again, so your low back is resting on your hand. The palm is facing the floor and the back of the hand is facing your back. And if this position is a bit uncomfortable for you, then you can bring your left hand under your left buttock. This will reduce the pressure a little bit. And now please lengthen your left leg, but leave your right leg standing. Gently push the right foot into the floor and roll the pelvis to the left. Then come back to the middle and repeat this movement a few times. So you don't lift the pelvis away from the floor, you just roll it to the left. So when you push the foot into the ground, the right side of your pelvis will lift, the pelvis will roll to the left, and you will notice that the pressure on your left hand will increase. So every time you roll the pelvis to the left, the pressure in the left hand increases, and when you come back to the middle, you have less pressure on the hand. And while doing this movement several times, also notice how this movement is traveling upwards. So when you roll the pelvis to the left, you might also sense that the weight in your back shifts towards the left. And what about your shoulders? So you might be able to notice that the left shoulder is getting closer to the floor when you roll the pelvis to the left. So the left shoulder will have more pressure towards the floor, and at the same time the right shoulder will have less pressure. So it might be even going away from the floor a little bit. So notice if you can sense your shoulders reacting to the pelvis movement. And what happens to your head? So maybe your head will also roll to one side while you're rolling the pelvis. And now start by actively engaging the head into the movement. So every time you roll the pelvis to the left, also roll your head to the left. And do this movement a few times. Start with the pelvis movement, sense how the movement is traveling upwards, towards your shoulders and then towards your head, and then let the head join in into the movement. And again, repeat this movement a few times and sense this connection between the pelvis and the head. And if your shoulder feels uncomfortable, please do the movement a little bit smaller. And of course, very slowly. Take a short rest, but leave your right leg standing and leave your pelvis on the ground. Now start by just lifting your left shoulder a little bit towards the ceiling and bring it back onto the floor. Repeat this movement a few times. Do it very slowly and gently. And it might be difficult for you because your left arm is kind of restricted. So this is the reason why you should make the movement very small. So you just move the shoulder towards the ceiling and you let it sink back onto the floor again. Keep breathing while doing the movement. Allow your face to stay soft. Your lips are gently touching. And then combine this movement with the rolling of the head. So you lift the shoulder towards the ceiling and you roll the head to the left, so towards the shoulder. And then you allow the shoulder to sink back onto the floor while the head is rolling back to the middle. So do this movement combination a few times. Make sure that both movements are equally small and equally slow. Both movements start and end at the same time. And now also include the pelvis into the movement. So you press the right foot into the floor, the pelvis will roll to the left, the head will roll to the left as well, and at the same time you're going to lift your left shoulder. Then you bring everything back to the starting position and you repeat this movement a few times. And again, make sure to do the movement very slowly and make a very small movement. So before we notice that the shoulder is actually going towards the ground when we roll the pelvis and the head to the left. So this time the shoulder has to do the opposite movement. Again, breathe freely while doing the movements. And slowly bring it to a stop and take a full rest now. So bring out your left arm, place it on the floor in a comfortable position and lengthen both legs. And while resting, sense how your body is making contact with the floor now. How are your shoulders touching the ground? Is there a difference between the left and the right side? Also notice how your arms and how your hands are in contact with the floor. How does your back feel? Is there more of your back in contact with the floor than before? And how do your legs feel? One leg might feel longer than the other one. Gently roll your head to one side and then to the other side and see if there is a difference in the quality of the rolling motion. Bring it to a stop. And if you want to, you can watch this video again and repeat the same movements on the other side. But for now, I just want you to roll to one side, come to sitting and then to standing, and then take some time to sense yourself in standing. And maybe some of the differences that you felt when lying on the back are still remaining when you come to the standing position. And now take a few steps, walk around in your room. Notice how the walking motion feels, notice how your arms are swinging, and take some time to integrate these new experiences. Thank you.